Hello family, welcome back. This is part 2 of the top 10 Charlotte area suburbs. If you have not seen part 1, I urge you to pause this video and go check that video out first. But if you've seen part 1, let's get right into it. Number 6 on the list is Indian Trail. And if you're not presently living in the area, you may not have heard of Indian Trail, but locals, we know about it. And a lot of locals are moving to Indian Trail and taking advantage of everything that it has to offer. Indian Trail is located in Union County, and Union County typically offers home sites that are larger than that in Mecklenburg County. On top of that, taxes are cheaper in Union County than it is in Mecklenburg County, and there's a lot of new construction taking place right in Indian Trail. Indian Trail offers some beautiful parks, including Crooked Creek Park, Chestnut Square Park, and Crossing Paths Park, as well as picnic areas and playgrounds and walking trails. And the town hosts a lot of events from movie nights to community festivals. Indian Trail was recently ranked on money.com as the 15th best place to live in the United States. So with highly rated schools, it is no wonder that families are choosing to move to Indian Trail, North Carolina. And there's also many young professionals moving that way as well, getting out of the city life and moving to a suburb, more rural feel. The town of Indian Trail was named U.S. Top 10 in Best Places for Families by Family Circle magazine. Indian Trail has also become known in recent years for their breweries, tap rooms, and wine bars. So there is stuff to do in this relatively sleepy town that is growing. Now, the median home price in Indian Trail in May 2022 was $405,000, and the median household income in Indian Trail was right around $86,000, and the population is estimated by the U.S. Census to be right around 41,000. Now, the median home price will go up because there's a lot of new construction that I mentioned earlier, and with new construction comes a price premium. Now, the negatives regarding Indian Trail has to be, which is quite odd because it's called Indian Trail, but the negative is the roads. Just last year, the former mayor said Indian Trail is one big pothole, and it is quite a bit of a drive from uptown Charlotte. Now, on paper, it may not look like a long ways, but if you get caught in traffic, you will be sitting there all day. Now, there is a way to avoid the traffic or a large portion of the traffic, and that's by taking the toll roads. Now, there is a nominal fee. There's a camera that takes a picture of your license plate, and that fee for driving on that road will be mailed to you. And I want to make you aware of this because in this inflationary environment, I want you aware of all potential additional expenses when you come moving or thinking of moving to an area. Real quick, to those of you who do not know me, I am Sir Ashley. I am a realtor and investor right here in the Carolinas. And on this channel, we talk about money, personal finance, real estate, and the Carolinas. So if you're interested in any one of those, go ahead, like this video, that helps me out a lot, and subscribe to the page so you can be kept abreast regarding those things. Let's get back into the information. And now we are in the top 5. Stallings makes the cut for the top 5 suburbs right here in the Charlotte area. Now, Stallings is much smaller and has a population of just over 16,000 people, but it's in Union County. So although it's right next to Matthews, its schools are much better than Matthews as a whole. Here, take a look at some of the schools serving Stallings, North Carolina. Now, regarding the amenities and what draws people to Stallings, North Carolina, please check out part 1 where I talked about Matthews, because everything I said about Matthews applies to Stallings. They're really right next to each other. And as I said before, Matthews is one of my favorite Charlotte area suburbs. The median home price in Stallings, North Carolina is $445,000. And the median household income is just like it is in Indian Trail, which is right around $86,000. Now let's talk about the negatives of Stallings, North Carolina. Well, it's in Union County. And although Union County schools are good, the roads in Union County are awful. See Stallings, Indian Trail, and Monroe. In fact, at one of the intersections in Stallings, there had to be a website created by a resident to track the number of accidents because it was so dangerous. And after you watch this video and go to the website, you will see that in the past 5 years, there has been over 63 automobile crashes and almost $500,000 worth of property damages at this one intersection in Stallings. In fact, the town council meeting met just last month, and the town was addressing the poor road conditions once again. Also, there are some complaints that not everyone is represented in town council meetings. Moving on to number 4 on the list of the top 10 suburbs in the Charlotte area. Number 4 is Davidson, North Carolina. Now, Davidson is still in Mecklenburg County, and Mecklenburg County is the same county that Charlotte resides in. But Davidson is about 25 minutes north of Uptown Charlotte. Now, I say Davidson is 25 minutes from Uptown Charlotte, but that's if there is no traffic. If you plan on making that trip during rush hour, you might as well carve out anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. But aside from the traffic and the commute, what makes Davidson so attractive is its small town feel. Yes, you have parks, you have restaurants, coffee shops, Davidson College, and the university or the college brings a youthful energy to an otherwise sleepy town. In fact, Davidson, North Carolina, of all places, was recently ranked one of the coolest suburbs in the country because of its unique vibe of old and new. Also, Davidson as a town is the richest and most educated or best educated town in Mecklenburg County. The population of Davidson is less than 14,000 people, and its proximity to Lake Norman is a huge draw for retirees that just want to chill out on their boat or their neighbor's boat. You see, the only thing better than having a boat is having a friend or a neighbor who has a boat. Why? Because nobody likes going on the boat alone, so you get to tag along and you don't have to pay for the boat. But if you're going to tag along and go on a friend's or neighbor's boat, you should at least be a good guest and buy some drinks or help pay for some gas for that boat trip. The median price for a home in Davidson is $548,000, and the median household income in Davidson is $131,000. Schools, the education in Davidson is amazing, and it brings a lot of people to the area. Take a look at some of the school rankings in Davidson, North Carolina. Now, you know that I have to bring you the negatives. Now, if you remember part 1, the woman talked about Huntersville and how it's even worse in Davidson. If you haven't seen that, please go check it out, and I will link it right here. So I have to acknowledge that. Also, I have to acknowledge that the traffic in the area is awful. Do not try to make the commute from Davidson to Charlotte during rush hour. I touched on it before, but it is extremely frustrating. I had to make the commute several times, and I should have just waited. Just wait until rush hour is over before getting on the road to either go to Davidson or to come back from Davidson during rush hour. Another glaring negative about Davidson is that it fights to remain insular and not wanting to grow. It's like an internal battle that's been taking place in local politics for years. But it's weird because a lot of Davidson longtime residents are open to change and growth. Now, you see, the town of Davidson had a population of only about 4,000 people back in 1990, and now it has a population of almost 14,000 people. And the newer residents, not the older residents, started a petition back in 2018 to save Davidson in an attempt to keep the town from growing and letting others, presumably more diverse population, into the town. Now, I find that truly weird because it's the transplants that move to Davidson that want to keep other transplants from moving into the town. Now, aside from the pettiness of the local politics, it's an amazing place to spend some time. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. The top 3 suburbs of Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, 2 and 3 are a tie. Yes, it was a cop-out, but it's a tie between Marvin and Weddington. Marvin and Weddington are both in Union County. And if you haven't noticed, Union County is well represented in this top 10 Charlotte area suburbs list. So if you're thinking of moving to the area or within the area, I suggest including Union County in your home search. Marvin and Weddington rank 1 and 2 in regards to the best places to live in Union County. They both have amazingly high-ranking public schools. And yes, Marvin and Weddington are two different suburbs, but I put them together because a large portion of each town neighbors one another. The population of Marvin is estimated to be around 6,500 people, while the population of Weddington is estimated to be 13,000 people. Both areas have a ton of outdoor amenities. Now, Weddington Optimist Park, which is right by the high school, has everything, and it's often a community congregation spot if you have kids or enjoy outdoor activities. Now, when I say that Optimist Park in Weddington has everything, it has playgrounds for your young kids. It has baseball fields, soccer fields, and even a football field. And we're not talking about just fields. These look like almost semi-pro baseball and soccer fields. They know how to make things very, very nice, and the area has the money to do so. While Marvin is ranked higher, number 2 on the list, I prefer Weddington, which is ranked number 3, because it's closer to Waverly. Waverly is a shopping center in Charlotte that has restaurants and shops galore. Now, Waverly is not in Weddington or Marvin, but if you have not been to Waverly, I highly recommend that you check it out. Bring your appetite and bring your wallet. Although there's food options for every price point, it does have other shops that you may want to spend some money at. So please go check out Waverly. And as I said, Waverly is not in Weddington or Marvin, but it sets the tone for what you can expect as you go further down Providence Road. Weddington and Marvin offer larger home sites than what is typical in the area, and a large portion of these homes incorporate some aspect of brick in the exterior, which gives the area a more stately feel. Now, both Marvin and Weddington are about 30 to 50 minutes to Uptown Charlotte, and depending on traffic, it might take you much longer than that. Now, it says it's only 15 and 17 minutes respectively to the city center, but both areas feel like a world away from Charlotte, North Carolina. Weddington was recently named the best suburb to live in North Carolina, and the home ownership in Weddington is 95%. The median household income in Marvin was $209,000, which makes it one of the top 5 richest towns or cities in all of North Carolina. And the median household income in Weddington is right around $135,000. The median home price in Marvin, North Carolina in June of 2022 was $955,000. And in Weddington, the median home price in June of 2022 was $964,000. So with those prices, the schools are well funded and highly ranked. Take a look on the screen at the school rankings in Weddington and Marvin, North Carolina. Now, I know some of you might have heard the median home price or median sale price and got a little sticker shock. Now, I don't want you to be scared away. Now, because while that is the median sales price in both of those areas, I have helped many people buy in the area, and those homes were in the $500,000 to $700,000 price range with a nice size yard. So please do not be scared away by the crazy median price. So now let's talk about the negatives of both areas. My team and I have helped several clients move to that area, and I consider those clients as friends now, and I've had this conversation with them in the past about one of their biggest challenges regarding living in the area and moving there with their family. Their biggest challenge with the area is making sure their kids realize that the bubble they live in isn't normal for all people or even the average person. And when you live in an area like Marvin or Weddington, sometimes it's easy to lose touch with reality or normal society or what is the norm because you're surrounded by other people who are, quote unquote, doing well, and you can get stuck into thinking this is how America just is. So the biggest challenge and negative is, one, for them not to get complacent and trying to teach their kids how to not be, or make sure they're not going to become, entitled brats. Their term, not mine. People outside and even within Marvin both complain about how pretentious the community can be. And like Fort Mill, residents of Marvin are also impacted by air pollution and the smell from the new Indy paper mill. Now, if you look on the map, you see that Marvin borders South Carolina. So it makes sense that some of the residents would suffer from the same air pollutants that the residents of Fort Mill suffer because they're right next to each other. Another negative is similar to that of Davidson. Local politics in Marvin are absolutely bonkers. They have candidates harassing and suing each other. So yes, that is a negative. And the negative of Weddington is the lack of physical space. The town does want to grow, and there's an 80-acre mixed development that is proposed or was proposed in 2021 and 2022. And tons of people want it. However, logistically, it just doesn't make sense for them to build. It doesn't make sense because of the lack of infrastructure. You see, getting in and out of Weddington consists of traveling down a 2-lane road, and traffic on that road is already hell, depending on the time of day. So adding more development to the area without expanding the road is a fool's errand. Now let's go on to number 1 on the list of the top Charlotte area suburbs. And it's not even in North Carolina. The suburb is Tega Cay, South Carolina. Tega Cay is located in York County, South Carolina, and is just south of Charlotte. And according to niche.com, Tega Cay is the number 1 place to raise a family in South Carolina, and it is ranked number 1 in public schools. Please take a look at some of the public and private school rankings for Tega Cay. Tega Cay is located right near Fort Mill, South Carolina, so it's able to take advantage of all the advantages of Fort Mill, South Carolina. And Tega Cay was also named one of the best places to live in America, and its location is one of the main reasons for that. Tega Cay means beautiful peninsula. You see, Tega Cay is surrounded by Charlotte, Fort Mill, and Lake Wylie. A large portion of Tega Cay is a peninsula, so you have everything at your disposal. You have quick access to Charlotte. You can jump on 77 and get to Charlotte real quick. You can go to Fort Mill, and you can take advantage of all the water activities and the outdoor living that being on Lake Wylie affords you. There are also several parks and even a park with a beach. If you're in the area, please check out Windjammer Park. The town truly has a sense of community about it. It has a population of about 13,000 people, according to the U.S. Census. If you're into golf, Tega Cay has an award-winning 27-hole golf course, and it's also, as I said, nearby Fort Mill. So Fort Mill has a country club that you can partake in. The Palisades has a country club that you can partake in. Now, the Palisades is right across the border in North Carolina. Now, I was out and about recently, and I met Chief Crosby, the chief of police for Tega Cay, and I met his wife, and they both were very pleasant and welcoming. And if that is how the rest of Tega Cay is, I can see why people say it is an amazing place to live. The median sale price for a home in Tega Cay was $423,000 in June of 2022. The median household income in Tega Cay was just under $126,000. Now, the negatives about Tega Cay is the growth. As the secret has gotten out, home prices have begun to skyrocket in Tega Cay. Homes that sold for $400,000 back in 2014 and 2015 are now selling for over $700,000. Some locals are also concerned about the growth's impacts on the schools in the area. Now, while the area still maintains excellent rankings regarding schools, the concern that residents have is that making sure the public schools can maintain the low teacher to student ratio without overcrowding the schools. Another negative about Tega Cay is that it's in South Carolina, meaning that zoning laws aren't strictly enforced or not even existent. So you could live in a beautiful, amazing subdivision in Tega Cay, but there could be a neighbor who lives right outside that subdivision, and they may have a small farm, they may be raising chickens, or they may own an auto salvage shop, which looks like a blight to the community. Now, those are all concerns that you have to be aware of if you decide to move to Tega Cay or anywhere in South Carolina for that matter. Now, other Charlotte area suburbs that just missed the list, just missed the cut, are Clover, South Carolina, Belmont, North Carolina, Mount Holly, North Carolina, Pineville, North Carolina, Lake Wiley, South Carolina, Cornelius, North Carolina, and Monroe, North Carolina. I told you, the Charlotte area is packed with amazing suburbs. So just because you can't get into one of these, you have other options available to you. I hope this was helpful. I am Sir Ashley. Please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts regarding the top suburbs in the Charlotte area, and share this video with others. I appreciate you. Talk soon.